हेलो फ्रेंड्स, मैं हूं अक्षत, आपका होस्ट और आपका दोस्त। आज हम पढ़ेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 6, टाउन, ट्रेडर्स एंड क्राफ्ट पर्सन्स। Some important places on map: Pushkar, Ajmer, administrative town; Somnath, temple town; Bidar, well known for its Bidri work. Hard words for the day: temple town, urbanization, Vishwakarma, emporium, and black town. Let's come on the meaning of the chapter. Emporium, a place where good and diverse production center of bought and sold. Then we have Hundi, is notice recording the deposit made of the person. The amount of deposited can be claimed and another place by the preserving records of deposit. And at last, factors, official in charge of trading activities of European trader companies. Map 1 shows some important places of India of center and trader artificial production in Central and South Asia. Let's start from north. Kabul, Vrindavan, Pushkar, Ajmer, Ahmedabad, Somnath, Bombay, Surat, Berar, Murshidabad, Kolkata, Bidar, Bijapur, Golconda, Hampi, Kamlapur, Swami Malai, Tirupati, Madras, Kanchipuram, Mahabalipuram, Tiruvannamalai, Masulipatnam, Urayur, Thanjavur, and Madurai. In fact, many towns combined several functions. There were administrative centers, temple town, and as well as center of commercial activities and craft productions. Administrative centers. Beside the temple, there are places with the Mahamandapas or pavilions. This here's similar. Isn't it similar to the cricket pavilions? No. King hold courts in these Mahamandapas, issuing the orders of subordinate. There are also barracks of army. The town is bustling with the market selling grains, spices, clothes, jewelries. Water supply for the town comes from the well and the tank, and Salias, Weaver, Thanjavur and nearby towns Ujjayur were busy in producing clothes for the flag to be nobility and cords for the cotton of masses. Some distance of Malai are Sathapati or the sculptures are making the executive brown idols and tall ornaments, bells, metal lamp. The questions for these paragraphs are: why do you think they celebrate festival? Please comment in the YouTube's our channel. Let's talk about some temple towns and pilgrim centers. Gradually, a large number of priests, workers, artisan, traders, etc. settled near the temple to cater to its need and those of the pilgrims. Thus grew the temple town. Temple emerged around the temple, such as those of Bilasapuram, Bilsha or Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh nowadays, and Somnath in Gujarat. Other important temple towns including the Kanchipuram and Madurai in Tamil Nadu and the Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. इस पैराग्राफ का मतलब है कि जितने भी आर्टिशियन, प्रीस्ट और वर्कर्स थे वो बहुत ज़्यादा टेम्पल के पास रहा करते थे, क्योंकि वहाँ पर उनकी लाइवलीहुड ऑन होती थी और जिससे किंग को भी फ़ायदा होता था। क्योंकि इंडियन माइथोलॉजी में यही माना जाता है कि जब भी हम लोग किसी टेम्पल में जाते हैं तो हमें खाली हाथ नहीं जाना चाहिए. वी शुड टेक सम गिफ्ट फॉर द गॉड. Figure 1. A bronze statue of Krishna subduing the priest's demon Kalya. This is an image or an idol made up of wax. Pilgrim centers are also slowly developed into townships. Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh and Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu are the example of two such towns. Ajmer, Rajasthan was the capital of the Chauhan kings in the 12th century and later became the Subha headquarter under the Mughals and provided the excellent example of religious coordinator Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti, the celebrated Sufi saint chapter number 8, who settled there in the 12th century and attracted devotees from all the creeds. Near Ajmer is a lake Pushkar, which has also attracted pilgrims from the ancient time. A network of small towns. They usually had a mandapika or mandi in the later time on the which nearby villagers brought their products to sell. These had market street called hut in the later time lined with the shops. Beside there were streets for different kind of artisans such as potter, oil peaser, sugar maker, toddy maker, smiths, stonemasons, etc. While some traders lived in the town, others travelled from town to town. Many came from far and near to these towns to buy the local articles and sell them. The distant places with the horses, salt, camphor, saffron, betel nuts, and spices like pepper. Usually Samantas in the later time a zamindar built and fortified palace or the near these towns. They levied taxes on the traders, articles and artificials of the trades and sometimes donated the right to the collected these tax and local temple which they had been built in the self of rich merchants. These rights are recorded in the inscription and survived for these times. This means that you might have seen the Saturday huts and many huts in your village or and artificials of traders and sometimes donated right to collect these taxes to the local temple, which have been built by themselves or the rich merchants. These rights were recorded in the inscription that have survived to this date. इस पैराग्राफ का मतलब ये है कि इन पास्ट मर्चेंट्स और ज़मींदार टैक्स लिया करते थे हर चीज़ पे, जैसे कि शुगर, जैगरी, डाइस, थ्रेड, कॉटन, ऑन कोकोनट, सॉल्ट, एरिस नट्स, बटर, सीसम, ऑन क्लोथ्स. विच मीन्स दैट पिछले कुछ चैप्टर्स में हमें ये भी बताया था कि चोलाज ने 400 टैक्सेस लगाए थे कुल मिला के. तो इसमें ये लोग टैक्सेस लेते थे और ये सारा पैसा इन्वेस्ट करते थे in making temples and donation of rights. Traders, big and small. Since traders had passed through many kingdoms and forests, they usually traveled in the caravans and formed the guild of the protect the interest. There were several such as guild in South India from the 8th century onwards, the most famous being the Manigramam and Nanda Desai. These guilds traded the extensive both within the peninsula and with the South Asia and China. There were also communities like Chaitris and Marwari Oswals who went to on and became the principal of training groups of the country. Gujarat traders, including the community of Hindu Banias and Muslim Bohras, traded extensive and sports of Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia and China. They sold the fur, textile and spices in these ports and exchanged the brought and gold and ivory and Africa and spices, tin, Chinese blue pottery, silver from the Southeast Asia and China. Crafts in town. We had talked about Bidar. Do you remember? Bidar was famous for its Bidri work. The craftspersons of Bidar were so famed for the inlay work of copper and silver that they came into the work called Bidri. The Panchalas and Vishwakarma's community, consisting the goldsmith and the bronzesmith, blacksmith, masons, carpenters, were essential to build the temples. They were also played a big important role in the construction of big palaces, buildings and tanks and reservoirs. Similarly, weavers such as Salia and Taikolar emerged in the prosperous communities, making the donation of temples. Some aspects of cloth making like the cotton, cleaning, the spinning and dyeing became specified and independent craft persons, which means that Panchalas and Vishwakarma communities were really very important for building the huge mansions just because they were the master for building these. This is a person, a wood carver. The similar person. This is the Bidri work. This is also one of the plates and shields which are found in Bidar. A shawl border which have Bidri work on it. Isn't it looks beautiful? A closer look to Hampi, Masulipatinam and Surat, the architectural splendor of Hampi. Hampi is located in the Krishna Tunga Bhaharda basin, which is formed in the nucleus of Vijayanagara Empire found in 1336. The magnificent ruin Hampi is revealed a well-fortified town. No mortar or cementing agents was used to construction of these walls and technique followed by the edges and together by interlocking. It means that this were fortified but not with the cement or any mud or cow junks. ये इस तरीके से फोर्टिफाइड थे कि इन ब्रिक्स को हम लोग बार बार निकाल भी सकते थे और फिर उसी तरीके से इंटरलॉक करके उसे डिस्प्ले भी कर सकते थे. दिस वॉज वेरी इजी टू डिसमेंटल एंड अरेंज. Stone Charitro, Vithala Temple. Temples were hub of cultural activities and Devdasis. Temple dancers performed before the deities royal masses in the royal and pillared halls. In the Virushpataka, a form of Shiva, temple of Mahanavami festival known for today, Navratri in South was one of the most important festivals celebrated in Hampi. What do you think? These pillars which are shown in this temple are one? No. These are the band of four. This is so thin that when the air passes through it, it creates a musical effect and it sounds too good and melodious. A gateway to the west, Surat. Surat is in Gujarat, was emporium of the western trade. During the Mughal period, along with the Kambi present in the Khambat, had somewhat later, Ahmedabad Surat was the gateway of the trade and West Asia via the Gulf of Hormuz. Surat was also have been called as the gate of Mecca because many pilgrims ships set sails from here. The Kathiawara state or Mahajans, money changers, had huge banking houses at Surat. In the north body, the Surat Hundis and honored so far of the market and Cairo in the Egypt, Barsa in Iraq and Antwerp in Belgium. Fishing is the troubled water. Masulipatinam. The town of Masulipatinam or Machipatnam, literally fishboat town, lays to the delta of Krishna River in the 17th century. It was the center of immense activity. Both Dutch and English East companies attempted the control at Machipatnam as because the most important port of Andhra coast, the fort at the Machipatnam was built by the Dutch. As Mughal began in the extent of the power of Golconda, the representative of governor of Mir Zulma, who was also a merchant, became the play of Dutch and English against each other, and in 1686 and 1687 Mughal Empire Aurangzeb exited Golconda. This was only a reason why the Machipatnam was destroyed. The 18th century saw the rise of Bombay, Kolkata and Madras, which are noble cities today, and craftsperson commerce the underwent and measure the changes as the merchants and artisans such as weavers were moved into the black town established by the European companies. Within the new cities, the black or the native traders and craftspersons have confined the residents of Fort and St. George of Madras or St. William of Kolkata. The story of craft and commerce, the 8th century, will be taken up the next year. The image on your screen, a Bombay street, earlier 19th century. Isn't it look some busy street? Some are busy in doing their works and they are just moving some things in a big carts. Let's come to the points which we left for the last. First, an image made of wax. This was covered with the clay and allowed to dry. The next was heated and the tiny hole was made to the clay cover. The molten wax was drained out through the hole. The molten metal was poured by the clay and malted through the holes. Once the metal cooled, the solidified the clay and carefully removed, and the image is clean and polished. This is how this image of the Sri Krishna bronze statue of Krishna with the presence of demon is made. Have you seen such images in your home as Saraswatis and Durgas? Walking through the Chola temple, we have a question. Which river was flowing near the Thanjavur village or town? This session ends here, but before going, let's talk about some extra questions. What do you mean by Mahamanjapas? Name the pilgrim center which were developed into the township. Who were Sufisans? Define hattas. What is todi? What were the common things sold in the market? On whom did the zamindar levy taxes? What do you mean by Devdasis? Name the traders who reside near the west coast of India. What are Bidri work? Define Panchalas. Which community were important in building the temples? Name the capital of Bengal during 1704. Name the merchant who throned the market of Hampi. Name the Deccan Sultan who defeated the ruler of the Vijayanagara. Why Surat is called as Gateway of Mecca. Thank you to attend the session. We will meet at all Sundays. For that much time, please subscribe, like, share and comment.